Start.
Good morning, student. Today we are going to discuss an important physiology practical, that is a measurement of a blood pressure. Before directly going to the procedure, I will give you a basic backup of this practical which will help you to secure a good marks in Viva 2. First question which will be asked in this practical is the definition of a blood pressure. The definition of blood pressure is that it is a lateral pressure exerted by the column of the blood on the lateral wall of the arteries. It can be expressed in terms of a systolic blood pressure and a diastolic blood pressure. The systolic blood pressure is the maximum pressure exerted during systole of the heart, and the diastolic blood pressure is the minimum pressure which is exerted during the diastole or a relaxation of the heart. The range of a normal range of systolic blood pressure is 110 to 140 mm of mercury, and the range of a diastolic blood pressure is 60 to 90 mm of mercury. Now, after definition and the normal range, the main factor affecting the systolic blood pressure is cardiac output. It means whenever the cardiac output is affected, it will affect the systolic blood pressure. And the main factor affecting the diastolic blood pressure is the peripheral resistance. Now, you can learn these two things by simple example that whenever we do an exercise, what happens? Your cardiac demands increases. You need more amount of blood. For that, there is increase in the cardiac output. It can increase up to 5 times in a single intensity of exercise. So, whenever your cardiac output increases, your systolic blood pressure increases. Now, peripheral resistance means it depends upon the diameter of a blood vessel. It is inversely proportional to a diameter of a blood vessels. Whenever there is a narrowing of a blood vessel or whenever there is a vasoconstriction. We see in a winter season there is a vasoconstriction of a blood vessel. So what happens during vasoconstriction? Your peripheral resistance increases. Your peripheral resistance increases, so it will certainly lead to increase in a diastolic blood pressure. Opposite is seen in a summers. There is a vasodilation in a summers. So what happens? Definitely your peripheral resistance will decrease due to vasodilation. There will be easy flow of the blood in comparison to the vasoconstriction. So what will happen? Whenever peripheral resistance will decrease, your diastolic blood pressure will increase. So peripheral resistance is inversely proportional to the diameter, and whenever diameter of blood vessel will decrease, what will happen? Your diastolic blood pressure will increase. Whenever diameter of blood vessel will increase, since your peripheral resistance decreases, so your diastolic blood pressure will fall. So these are the two factors which affect the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. Now, after the definition, range and the factors affecting the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure, we will move to the apparatus. After definitions, apparatus required for measuring the blood pressure. There are two apparatus for measuring the blood pressure. One is the sphygmomanometer and second is a stethoscope. So I will show you the instrument. See, this is a sphygmomanometer. Okay, this is sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer means sphygmo means pulse, mano means thin, and meter means to measure. This sphygmomanometer basically consists of three parts. One is a mercury manometer. The second part is a rubber tube, and third is this cuff. So first we will take one by one. Mercury manometer, it consists of two limbs, the broader limb and the narrow limb. The broader limb is the reservoir for a mercury, and narrow limb is the graduated glass tube from 0 to 300, in which each division corresponds to 2 mm of mercury. And the second part, the mercury manometer is connected through a long rubber tube to a Viva Roxy cuff. This is Rivaroxy cuff. This Rivaroxy cuff consists of a elastic band, okay, which is placed in a non-distensible cloth. This Rivaroxy cuff ideal dimension is 25 into 12.5 centimeter, which can vary in a children and in obese. In obese, its width is more, and in children, its width is lesser. And the formula for calculating the length and width is that its length should cover the 2/3 of mid-arm circumference, and its width should cover the 1/3 of arm circumference. So this is Rivaroxy cuff with the Velcron strip. This Velcron strip is used for tying to the arm. Then another shorter rubber tube is connected to a rubber pump. This is rubber pump which has a leaky valve screw which can be rotated in a clockwise and an anti-clockwise direction. By rotating in clockwise direction, you can tighten the screw. By rotating it in anti-clockwise direction, you can loosen the screw. Now, second instrument which is used for measuring the blood pressure is stethoscope. This is stethoscope. It has an ear knob. This ear knob should be placed according to the shape of your ear cavity. It should be placing forward and medially. It should not be used in this manner. This is commonly made mistake by the student. It is always placed so that it faces forward and medially. Then this is again a rubber tube, and this rubber tube is connected to a chest piece. This is chest piece. It has a diaphragm and a bell. The diaphragm is used in adult and the bell is used in a children. Now, before moving to the procedure, we have to keep in mind that both our instruments, sphygmomanometer and stethoscope, has an on and off switch. This is on and off switch. This has to be on before using it, and again stethoscope also has an on and off switch. This is on and off switch which you have to on before doing the procedure. Now, in a third, we will move to the procedure of start. Now, after the apparatus, the procedure for measuring the blood pressure, there are two procedures. One is the palpatory method. Palpatory method, we measure the blood pressure by palpating the radial pulse. And as the name suggests, in auscultatory method, that is the second method, we measure the BP by auscultating the sound by using the stethoscope. First, I am performing the palpatory method. In palpatory method, first we have to tie the cuff, but before starting the procedure, there are some basic rules that the subject should be relaxed, okay, the instrument should be placed at the level of the heart, okay, you should check that sphygmomanometer switch is on, the level of mercury is at 0. Now after that, after the prerequisite conditions, the cuff is tied, Rivaroxy cuff. The cuff is tied about 1 inch above the elbow joint. The cuff should be neither too loose, neither too tight, and cuff is tied in such a position that the elastic bag placed in the non-distensible cloth should be over the brachial artery. So I am tying the cuff. After tying the cuff, what I have to do? I have to feel the radial pulse by using your 3 fingers, okay, over the radial artery. Now, after feeling the radial pulse, I will start inflating, raising the pressure till I stop feeling the pulse. The moment I stop feeling the pulse, I will stop inflating the rubber band. Now, rubber pump? Now, I will take 10 to 20 millimeter of mercury higher than that. Suppose I stop feeling the pulse at 100, so I am inflating again till 120 and releasing the pressure at the rate of 2 to 4 millimeter of mercury per second. Now again at 110 millimeter of mercury, I start feeling the pulse. So this point at which you stop feeling the pulse, this reading at which you stop feeling the pulse, that is your reading of a systolic blood pressure. But the disadvantage of this method is that it gives us a rough reading of a systolic, which is actually lower than the actual reading. Secondly, it does not give us the reading of a diastolic blood pressure. Now I am going to confirm my palpatory reading of systolic blood pressure by a auscultatory method. The cuff will be tied, okay. Now I will use the stethoscope. The stethoscope chest piece is placed over the brachial artery that is medial to the bicep tendon, and I will start raising the pressure to 2 to 40 millimeter of mercury higher than the rough reading obtained by the palpatory method. So I will take my reading till 140-150 millimeter of mercury. And start deflating it at the rate of 2 to 4 millimeter of mercury per second. Now at 120 millimeter of mercury, I start hearing the sound that is called as the Korsakoff sound. The first appearance of sound is the marker of a systolic blood pressure. And slowly there is a change in the quality of a sound, and finally it get disappeared. So my sound get disappeared at 80 millimeter of mercury. So this is the reading of a diastolic blood pressure. So the reading at which the sound appeared, that is the reading of a systolic blood pressure, and the reading at which the sound disappeared, that is the reading of a diastolic blood pressure. The auscultatory method advantage is that it gives us reading both reading systolic blood pressure and a diastolic blood pressure, and it gives us an accurate reading of a systolic blood pressure. Now the basic viva question asked in this practical is that why we perform a palpatory method before doing the auscultatory method. The answer is that it prevents the auscultatory gap. What is auscultatory gap? In hypertensive patient at 200 millimeter of mercury, there is a disappearance of a Korsakoff sound after its appearance. So, suppose now the important related viva question asked in this practical is that why palpatory method is performed before the auscultatory method. The answer is that it prevents the auscultatory gap. What is auscultatory gap? Auscultatory gap is seen in a hypertensive subjects. In hypertensive subject, first appearance of sound, after the first appearance of sound, there is a gap for few seconds, and again the sound reappears. So this gap at which the sound disappears for few seconds, that is marked as a auscultatory gap, and it can be prevented by taking rough reading by a palpatory method. Now the other viva question asked related to this practical is that which is the physiological factor which affect the blood pressure. The physiological factor affecting the blood pressure is first is the age. Okay, the blood pressure is lesser in a children and more in a adults. It increases with the age. Second is the sex. The blood pressure is low in female because of the effect of progesterone. There is a vasodilation. So what will happen due to vasodilation? Your diastolic BP is lessened. Third is the posture. What is the effect of posture? There can be also a separate question on this practical, that is effect of posture on a blood pressure. See, while we stand, what happens due to while standing, there is a venous pulling of the blood due to the effect of gravity. So what will happen due to effect of gravity, venous pulling of blood, there is a decrease in venous return, due to which there is a decrease in cardiac output. So your systolic blood pressure will drop. It is less during standing as compared to the sitting or a supine position. Next is the meal. After meal, there is an increase in BP due to increase in a basal metabolic rate. Then next, exercise. Already told you that during exercise, there is increase in cardiac output, so your systolic blood pressure increases. So these are some of the physiological factors which can be asked in the viva. That's it. Thank you.